What's up, good people? What's up, good people? And listen, I decided to come on back live before it got too late or whatever case may be. I know a lot of people are going to be getting their weekend started, so they ain't going to give a damn about YouTube. So I wanted to come. It says, tough love. My brother just subscribed to your channel a month ago. Like it, man. I appreciate it. Thanks, man. Hopefully that you're enjoying the content over here. I appreciate that. Salute to everybody in the chat. I just wanted to kind of come on and kind of knock out something that probably is going to help a lot of us moving in towards the weekend or whatever. To all the new subscribers, I appreciate you guys for being here. For all the returning subscribers, thank you for coming back. You know, I just want to have this conversation real quick. I wanted to talk about love languages, and a lot of people, they are familiar with those, and then some people are not. So I wanted to kind of bring the old into the new or whatever. It's some people that says, man, cancel the love languages, ain't no such thing as love languages. But I wanted to see if you felt like, you know, how you felt about love languages. Of course, we have the words of affirmation. You know, do you like to receive, you know, oh, you're a great person, you're magnificent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know, physical touch, that's self-explanatory. Receiving gifts. Do you like people to buy you shit? Do you like people to give you stuff, surprise you with stuff? Quality time. I think quality time might be mine. You know, I think quality time might be mine or whatever case be. There's nothing like spending time with the person that you actually care about. You know, I think that's good. Acts of service. I don't know now. I'm on the fence with acts of service. Acts of service and quality time. I think those two things are probably the two things that I really like the most or whatever case be. So you guys let me know in the chat. What's your love languages? Do you have one? Do you have two? You know, or all of them, you know, something that you really like or whatever case be. So I'm going to be playing some videos. If you guys, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be in and out, you know, feel free to come back, check the replay, or add to the conversation. So I appreciate everybody in the chat. Carl, I see you. Carl, I see you. Lovely, what's going on? Lovely, I see you. Love, I see you. This is dope. So what we're going to do is I'm going to play a couple videos. Let me throw this up there real quick because you know how things go. So we're going to be talking about the love languages. I'm going to drop the link to the panel. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I'm going to play this thing out. So the first video kind of breaks down where the love languages originated from, who created them, and it's kind of breaks down each individual thing. And then we're going to go into some panels where it's some men talking and some females talking. So I'm going to be changing up the video, probably throwing photos on it or whatever, just to change it up a little bit or whatever. But I think the overall concept of the conversation needs to be had. I'm just bringing it all together. So let's get started.
What's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be on the book The 5 Love Languages, The Secrets to Love That Last by Dr. Gary Chapman. So have you ever been in one of those relationships where you think you're doing everything you can to please your partner, but they're still feeling frustrated and unloved? I mean, you're giving them compliments, you work hard all day to bring home the bacon and pay the bills, you give them gifts, and you even do some chores around the house, but they're still feeling unloved. I mean, what more do they want, right? It's incredibly frustrating and annoying. Well, the reason why they aren't feeling loved, in short, is that you're not speaking their love language. The premise of the book is that people don't give and receive love in the same way. Most of us think that the way we want to be loved is how others want to be loved as well, but this is not the case. There are in fact 5 love languages. This is huge because if you're not speaking the same language as your partner, then you could be missing the mark completely and not even know it.
Oh, okay. I can agree with that. Are you speaking your partner's love languages? Do you even know your partner's love language? Do you even care? Do you even care? I honestly sat down and really said, hey, what is my partner's love language? I just did a bunch of shit. But I mean, I never really sat down to really ask that question. I think that's a great question moving forward in any relationship. What is your love language? Do you know? How many of you guys have established what your love languages is? Your words of affirmation, physical touch, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts. Have you broken down to your partner what your love languages are? Or your love language? It's just one thing, or is it all things? Do you want someone? To me, consistency, HBIC, I might need you to jump up in here. You know what I'm saying? Because I would love to hear what your love language is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be dropping the link a little bit later. If you guys are just sipping a little bit, you know what I'm saying? You're getting your little blunt on, whatever it is that you're doing. Sit back and relax. We may all, rediscover something about ourselves today. Here we go.
It's basically the equivalent of a British guy trying to talk to a Chinese guy. It's not going to go well because they're simply not going to understand each other. If you're going to have a strong relationship, you have to know how you and your partner both give and receive love. The 5 love languages are words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Let's go through each one a little deeper. Words of affirmation. Do you like hearing I love you or compliments or meaningful words above all else? Are insults especially detrimental to your relationship? If so, then this is probably your love language. If you discover that this is your partner's love language, make sure you give them genuine compliments and tell them you appreciate them often. The second love language is quality time. Do you value full and undivided attention above all else? One-on-one time with the TV off, the cell phone put away, and no distraction is what makes this type of person feel loved the most. Canceled or postponed.
How many of you guys chill with when you're with your partner, right? You guys are having quality time. Are you the spouse or the partner that is always on the phone? Like you're always checking something, whether it's something on social media, work accounts, you're always on the phone. Like it's connected to you. It's a part of your skin. I never really, I'm telling you guys, like that probably could be nerve-wracking for some people. Especially if they're trying to spend quality time with you, that you won't detach from your device to spend time with them. I guess it could send off the message that, that they're not important, that whatever's going on online is more important than you spending quality time with the kids or quality time with your girlfriend or boyfriend. So that's a good point. That's a good reminder as well.
Phone dates and failure to listen are especially hurtful to this type. If this is your partner's love language, learn to listen better, make eye contact more, and spend more time with them instead of at the office or glued to your cell phone. Ask them what they'd like to do with you and then schedule a date to do it. Don't assume what they'd like to do with you. Ask. The third love language is receiving gifts. Sure, we all like getting gifts, but this type of person loves receiving gifts above all else. Gifts to this type of person mean everything because it shows the love, thought, and effort that went into the gift.
You know what, ladies? This guy trying to play y'all. This guy trying to play y'all. This guy trying to play y'all, man. He's talking about receiving gifts and put a lady up there. He trying to play y'all right now. But I think everybody likes to receive gifts. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody likes to receive gifts just to kind of know, like birthdays and holidays, et cetera, et cetera. I think everybody likes to receive gifts, and I think that's something cool. I definitely think that's something cool. Everybody likes to receive gifts. That's dope, Carl. I appreciate that. Speaking to everybody, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Welcome again, man. Welcome again. Appreciate you being here.
Gift. I'm not talking about materialistic or the cost of the object, but the thought behind it. Missed birthdays, anniversaries, and thoughtless gifts tear this type of person apart. The cost doesn't matter, it's the thought. It can be as simple as a card or some picked flowers or a note saying that you love their eyes. The fourth language is acts of service. Chores around the house or errands that ease the burden of responsibility are the loving characteristics of this love language. This can be as simple as taking out the trash, paying the bills, doing the dishes, picking up the kids from school, and so on. Broken commitments and laziness can make this type feel unloved. And lastly, physical touch. This doesn't necessarily mean sex. If hugs, cuddling, holding hands, and thoughtful touches are the most important thing to you, then this could be your love language. If their physical presence is crucial to you, then this could be an indicator as well. Any kind of neglect or abuse would destroy this type of person and their relationship.
How many people hug their kids? I know that seems like it's a no-brainer, right? But how many times do you just hug your kids for no reason? I think that's very important. Just so whoever it is that you loving on or you care about, your family members or friends, I think it's important that you hug them. Come here, give me a hug. I think that's important, man. I think sometimes, oh, that's just our kid. We'll hug them later or whatever, and then something happens, and it's like, I just want to hug them one more time. I just want to see them one more time. And I try to remind people on a regular basis, man. Make sure that you're doing things accordingly. Like make sure that you tell the person that you love them. Make sure that you hug them, you spend time with them, because you never know when you guys separate to go to work, to go to school, go to the gym. You never know when you separate if that's going to be the last time that you see that person. So always, they say this: give people flowers while they're alive. Don't wait till they reach their demise and now you have the eulogy, and now you have to say all of these things because you never said it, while they were alive. You ever be at the funeral, what I'm saying, and somebody get up there and they be like, I just wanted to say these things that I should have said when he was alive. I really appreciate you being there for me, and I'll be like, why you ain't telling when they was alive? God damn it. Riding dirty. I did it. I'm gonna pull you up here in a minute, Riding Dirty. Yeah, why didn't you tell these people when they were alive how much you loved them, how much you respected them, how much you cherished them, how much you appreciated them? I think sometimes we miss the mark, and we need those reminders. We need those reminders. You know what I'm saying? We need those reminders. We need those reminders. Let's keep going. Fair use in the building, full effect.
So which one do you most strongly identify with? Keep in mind, you should only have one primary love language. Sure, we may like all those things, but one of them should resonate with you the most. Really think about each one and imagine your partner doing each one in turn and see how you feel. If you're still having a hard time, let's look at a couple ways to figure out your love language. First, examine your childhood. How did your parents express their love to you? What made you feel loved? That may have translated to how you now express and receive it. Another way is to ask, what's your first instinct when you want to show someone you love them? Trust your instinct. And the third way is to look at how you've been hurt deeply in the past. What hurt the most? Exploring that can help shed light on what your love language is. If you still don't know, go take the quiz over at 5lovelanguages.com. Now that you know your love language, think about these love languages from your partner's perspective.
So you know what's interesting to me? Um, when you talk about love languages, what are some of you guys' love language? Like, what is it like? It's a deal breaker if this doesn't happen. If you don't get complimented, if you don't get gifts, if you're not being taken anywhere. I was dating a female, right? I was dating a female, and she was. This is not the female, but I'm just you guys understand what I'm doing. I was dating a female or whatever, and her thing was she wanted to be on my social media. Like, I did not understand it. I didn't understand it. I was like, man, why do you like? She wanted us like to take pictures and post on, hey, we at this restaurant, hey, we at this amusement park, hey, we at this club. And I was like, man, I ain't trying to do all that. I'm just trying to enjoy, my time with you. But it was like, no, no, no. I want, and for her, it was a big thing. It was a huge thing. Like, she needed to be on my social media. She needed to tag me and everything. And then I didn't mind her tagging me and everything. But it's like sometimes I like to move, without everybody kind of knowing where I'm at. It's like, to me, let's just say, hey, we're going out to dinner. We're going out to dinner or whatever case may be. And it's like, I want to enjoy my time with you. I don't want to be posting photos. Like, what I'm saying? We could take a picture or two, but goddamn, it's like a YouTube live. Look at the salt shaker, everybody. Everybody look at the salt shaker. So I'm wondering, do you guys, when you go out with your partners or whatever case be, are you on the phone? Are you glued to the phone? Do you have to post for everybody to see you? Is what everybody think about you, and what you're doing, is that more important than you actually enjoying your time? Like, sometimes I see people do certain things, like they're at the table together and they're on the phone. They're literally on the phone. Like, they're not even talking to one. I don't know if they're texting one another. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, I'm just like, you sitting right in front of this person. Why are you not, what I'm saying, talking to them? And I think that we've lost the art of actually having a conversation with people, actually having a face to face. I think that we're so glued to technology that we lose the conversational face to face. I think we're so used to saying, okay, I can have several conversations at one time. But then when you actually have to have that face-to-face conversation, you're lost in the sauce. You are lost in the sauce. So I think that we do need to get back to not only exploring good conversation, but also exploring, what I'm saying, what is our love languages? How do we want to be loved? How do we want to be, you know, valued, appreciated? What needs to be said for us to say, hey, I'm in a great place. I'm with a great person. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Now that I think about it, I think it was kind of annoying for me uh to have someone always wanting to showcase every move that we made. Like, I think it was kind of annoying to me. It's like, it was kind of annoying. What I'm saying? It's like, enjoy your life. Take a couple pictures, a couple photos you can post up later. But it's like, you need to know, we at this restaurant eating this, doing this, doing that. I'm like, man, you're doing too much. Like, you're doing a little bit too much, sister. What I'm saying? You're doing too much. I'm about to drop this link real quick to pull you guys up. But I wanted to get into this next video because it breaks down not only the love languages, but it also, it's women, getting their perspective on love languages. So I think it's going to be interesting.
And she wakes up every day and her goal is to make you happy, then you're both happy.
The love languages thing, which I didn't discover till way later in life too. Like, I look back at an old relationship and I'm like, man, if I had known that, I see now, I understand. Right. But you learn those from your parents most of the time. So you learn those love languages and you learn how to love.
Right.
But I guess my question, like, maybe for you is, say if you have the way that you need to be loved, and then your partner has the way that they need to be loved, and you don't necessarily connect to that, do you feel like that's something that's a deal breaker, or is there a way to move past and give the person what they need and without feeling like you're sacrificing something?
So for me, what's crazy is that every relationship isn't the same, but my advice to anyone, and what I feel like has worked for my relationship, and it's my friend Jerome's dad said this at his sister's wedding. When he was presiding over their wedding, he told both of them, he said, if you wake up every day and your goal is to make her happy, and she wakes up every day and her goal is to make you happy, then you're both happy. Mm-hmm. So for me, me and my husband do not have the same love language at all. But if I'm always focusing on like, how can I make sure that he's happy and that he loves me? If he's doing the same thing, we're both taken care of. You know what I mean? Like you can do it isolated. Like,
you know what? She brought up a good point. Okay, Riding Dirty. She brought up a good point. You know, are you in a relationship and saying, hey, I want to do whatever it takes to make my significant other happy? And I'm gonna tell you right now, today in modern society, we don't have it to me, it just seems really one-sided. Like it does. It seems really one-sided. It's not someone trying to make sure that their partner's happy. It's them making you happy. Like it's always one. Just seems one-sided. It's like, do this for me, do that for me, do this for me, do this for me. And this is like, well, is it equal? Does it mirror one another? And I think that a lot of times we get into a situation where, you know, we don't have balanced relationships. We don't have balanced relationships. We have people that say, you know what, you need to do for me, and depending on how much you do for me, I'll decide if it's enough. You know what I'm saying? I think that the hierarchy in relationships, it's kind of lopsided. So you have to make sure that the person that you're getting with, you know, they have balance. They have a certain level of understanding that, okay, this thing is a not necessarily, well, yeah, I would say a 50-50, a give and take. You do for me, I do for you. So the same way that I'm putting in energy, you know, complimenting you, making sure that you have what you need and surprising you with gifts, etc., then that should be reciprocated. But I see a lot of times where it's not, and it's always someone leaving a relationship feeling drained. It's always somebody feeling like, you know, you got the best of me, or I've given you all of these things and you never return the favor. You ever see somebody leave a relationship and they say, I used to do so much for her, I used to do so much for him? Like, I used to sit down like numerous times and always have someone come to me and say how much they did for the other person, but they never said they required the other person to do for them. And I said, well, as soon as you start seeing it lopsided, why don't you change the narrative and say, hey, we need to balance this thing out. You know, we need to make sure that we have a level of understanding when it comes to these love languages, to make sure that, hey, yeah, I'm giving to you, you giving to me. I'm doing for you. You know, we're having that spontaneity, whether it's going on a trip, whether it's going out to dinner, whether it's having sex. You know, we're doing those acts of service. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know, let me come and help you out and support you in whatever it is that you do. You know, whether it's for your job or whether it's in a community, let me come and show my support. You know, but I think a lot of times for a lot of people, these things are expected but never reciprocated. And I think that's the problem that you have in a lot of relationships. That's why a lot of women and a lot of men leave relationships, and it's always this, to me, it's the same narrative of, this is what I did for that person. You know, I did this and I did that. And hell, I helped him with this, or I helped her with that. But they never ever say that the other person was helping them. It's always a one-sided thing for some reason. So let's listen to what these ladies got to say about love languages. And I also have a video about what the guys think. I think this is important.
Like, I can wake up every day just concerned about myself and make sure Ashley's happy. That's fine, but then we're having a singular situation. You know what I mean? But if we want to be a union, and it doesn't, so then I'm not feeling neglected because he's taking care of me and I'm taking care of him, and we're both being taken care of. Nice. So I don't need him to be me. You know, so if he needs something, or I can communicate in the way that he needs. It's going to be effective for him. Right. And he does the same thing for me. So then you're fine. Yeah. So you just have to find someone who's emotionally mature enough to have that conversation with. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, emotional mature. Right. Yeah.
I like what she said right there. She said emotionally mature. I like that. I like the tone of that. Emotionally mature. You have to find someone willing to have the conversation and not willing to dismiss it or run away. But you have to set it up in a setting where it's a you guys can hear each other. I think a lot of times when we start dating and we get out there or whatever, it's always in a situation where it's just like it's alcohol involved, it's a lot of noise in the background, and you guys don't really get an understanding. Me personally, I think that if you're going to date, you need to go to maybe a coffee shop or a park, somewhere where you can actually learn one another. You can feel comfortable asking those questions that's going to really help you understand who that person is. What is your love languages? I think that should be a question. What's your love language? If you meet somebody and they have some potential, come on, y'all, they got some potential. You know what I'm saying? They got some potential. And you get into a conversation, ask them what's your love language. You know what I'm saying? What is something that you value that needs to be done? Is it communication? Do you value support? Do you value, what is it that drives you? Because there's some things that drive you, and if you don't find that your partner provides that, and I kind of go with my experience. Like I was in a relationship where it just felt like, what I'm saying, there was no value in I guess the promotion in reference to like support. You know what I'm saying? I think some people only support you the best way they know how. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the type of like I think it was a real infinity for who I was, but I don't think that the support was really there. And I kind of sat down. I was like, okay, well, hey, let's go to the gym. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's get out. Let's go do this. And it was always like, and I was just like, man, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's no level up, but that wasn't her love language. Wasn't to show support like that. Her love language was like, hey, I'll cook you some food. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I like to eat, but I don't like to eat like that. You know what I'm saying? I like to eat, but I don't like to eat like that. And that was her way of showing, her love language. It was cooking. And I think that was kind of acts of service. I think it falls under acts of service. And it was like, yeah, that's cool. But, me personally, I'd rather go to the gym or take a, walk on a beach or something like that. And it was just like, well, this is the best way I know how. And I think that created frustration in our situation, because it was like how she wanted to promote her love languages, her love language was not how I was promoting, and then vice versa. So it was kind of frustrating, because it was like, damn, I don't feel like I'm getting what I deserve. And I think in the end, she would say the same thing. I don't think we're getting what we deserve out of this relationship. Let's keep going with this video. Salute to everybody in the chat.
Right.
Hashtag.
I was just talking to my cousin about that, and she was a little bit intimidated by the thought of possibly meeting someone, and then, oh shit, you find out they got completely different love languages.
Yeah,
and I told her, well, I actually have different love languages than my boyfriend.
Right.
And it still works. I'm conscious of it now.
Yeah.
And so, like I said about when you know better, you do
Yeah.
better. Yeah. Once you learn, once he's like, oh, so your love languages are words of affirmation.
Right.
And, mine is quality time and touch. Well, now we understand.
Yeah.
So it's not hard. You just didn't know.
Right.
And so you guys are like missing each other, rather.
Right.
Yeah. Did you learn that in therapy, or did you come to that just
read
from
the book
experience?
a while ago, but recently just really
Started applying.
applying it.
Yeah.
Like, even having read it a while ago, I'm like, okay, that's cute.
Right.
So, but now being able to really see, well, oh, that's why that mattered so much.
Right.
Yeah. And so, the application now is just, there's so much growth. It's like,
Yeah.
She talked about the application. You know what I'm saying? It's great to get information, but a lot of times we don't apply it. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna drop this link real quick. I'm gonna drop the link. But I love when people say, they've read a book, or they've watched a documentary, or they've done some type of, research for betterment. They've read some type of enlightening book. Like, I love when people, they're able to regurgitate that knowledge, because it comes from a fair source, a source that I can go check for myself. It comes from something that really was promoted as a non-biased factor, but really, to really help, and I think that people heal, they learn how to heal from doing that. You read in a book like, hey, this is Lisa D, what's going on? John, I see you. You get from a book, it's like it's not done with ill intent. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times when you get advice from people, especially about relationships, they give advice based on how much they've healed. Can I talk to y'all? They give advice based on how much they've healed or have not healed. So somebody's going to give you half-ass advice if they've only healed half-ass. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's going to give you terrible advice if they now think terribly about relationships. Somebody's going to give you chaotic advice if that's their thought process. So I do feel like you should do your research. I do feel like you should watch documentaries or small videos that really help, kind of hone in on how to heal, how to learn what love language really represents you. Do you understand what your love languages does for you? Is it a deal breaker? Is love language is love language negotiable? You know what I mean? Let's just say, hey, I ain't buying you a lot of shit. But if that's her love language, then is that a deal breaker? I mean, is that a deal breaker? He actually had just mentioned who wrote that book or whatever. But I think there's another gentleman too. I actually want to go to it. Let me see if I can go to that one first. Let's see here. Let's see if I can go to that one first. Hopefully I ain't. Let me see something. Oh, we'll get to it. I want to hear what the guys got to say. Let's listen to what the guys have to say about love languages.
There's a balance. Mm-hmm. She has the freedom to go out and audition and do that stuff. I make sure that everything is taken care of. Right. Whenever she starts looking the 8 or 9 years of national commercials, and I'm gonna sit back and be like, okay,
your turn.
Stay at home dad status,
hey.
Right?
Hey, no wrong with that. Right? Does anyone want to jump in on that love language one time? There's different types of way to love, right? There's verbal,
acts of service, personal touch.
Right. Say it again.
Acts of service and personal touch. I need that.
Okay, I need you to explain.
I just need my wife to touch me.
Okay. That's it. As I
So hey, y'all stop playing with me and go ahead and hit that like button. Let's get some people up in here. Let's have this conversation. So I like the fact that this gentleman says, hey, acts of service and personal touch. He already jumped right in there. He understands. He knows the assignment. Hey, this is what I want. This is what I need. You know what I'm saying? And I think that to me personally, when you first meet someone and you're interested in them and you see their potential and they see your potential, these are conversations that you need to have. What is your love language? Or do you have multiple love languages? I mean, that's a real question. Do you have multiple love languages? I think it's very important that you identify, especially when you start out. And here's the thing, can you start off with one love language and then find out, you know what, I don't really, that's not as important as the other love language. So can you switch it up? Can you start with one and then end up, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure as you get older, you know what I'm saying, your priorities change. What you thought that was important when you were younger now is not a priority as you're older. It's just like, when I was younger, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, you talk about SUVs, TVs in the car, big rims, the loudest sound system, and now it's just like, hey man, I'm good the way the car is. I'm sure I'm gonna get something with a quality sound system. I'm gonna keep the factory rims on there. I probably tint the windows out just a little bit, you know what I'm saying, so my kids ain't baking in the back seat. But I'm a little bit older now, a little bit more wise, a little bit more mature, and I'm like, I could take this money and use it for something else. Now don't get me wrong, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna have to be a nice car, but it's just I don't gut the whole car out when I get it and change it all up and It has to be lights on it, and it has to be you have to hear me from 2 blocks away. I think you change as you get older. So is it possible that your love languages can change? What you feel that you needed when you were young, you no longer have a need or a want that is magnificent for that. It's not an intensity for that particular, thing. Let me drop this link for you guys. Memphis in the building. You guys want to pull up, feel free to pull up. Link is in the chat if you want to pull up. Sim sets. Oh, what's going on? Let's go ahead and get back to this.
Sip it from the cup.
No,
So touch.
Like he look at the camera. He hopes you watch this.
Right.
But yeah, quality time is one that's important to me.
Yeah.
I loathe when I'm having a conversation with somebody and they're texting, because I know you're not giving me your undivided attention.
Right.
And I'm the type of person that will give you my
Yeah.
I'm the type that'll give you my undivided. So if you're not doing the same, then
Especially a significant other, man.
Oh,
Like, that's-
absolutely. And then they pretend like they can hear everything you're saying, process
That's
it.
impossible.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, you say
Total disregard.
okay, what now? So it's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Riding Dirty, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's happening, bro?
I'm chilling, man. I know that this was a topic that was kind of near and dear to you, whatever. I don't know how long you've been actually in here or whatever, but I got a chance to play kind of like the female point of view for the love languages. Right now I'm playing the guy's point of view for love languages. But what do you feel? You know what I'm saying? What do you feel about love languages? Is it important? Or is it a bunch of BS? What's your partake on it? Nurse Petty, what's going on?
I believe it's worth it to the people that want to see the worth in it. I read that book probably 20 years ago, and it's been worth it with every relationship I've had, be it professional, personal, whatever. Because we talk a lot about, like people projecting, you know what I mean? Like people projecting their fears or their worries or whatever. People also project the way that they want to be loved, or the way that they receive love or acknowledge love. Like me, for instance, I'm an active service guy. That's me. I work, and I just have my routine. Like every Sunday, that's command maintenance day. We area beautification. That's the day I make sure I get up and my wife's car gets filled up, it gets cleaned out, and it gets everything for the rest of the week. That's my, acts of service. My friends, I help my friends, acts of service. My wife, she's a personal touch kind of person. Me, that's probably my least fluent love language is personal touch, but I know that she likes that. So every day when she gets home from work, I make sure I give her a good 30-second hug, just soon as she walks in the door, because that's the language she understands. And for love language, to me, I'd say just look at it like you would any other language. You have, there's 5, but you could be fluent in one language, as in that's your first language. And then like me, acts of service is my first language. Personal touch could be my second language. Quality time could be my third one. And as long as I'm fluent enough to establish a conversation or whatever centered around love, I don't have to know all of the touchy-feely stuff of the personal touch, but I just got to know enough to communicate with my wife in a way that she understands it.
I like that you said that. You know what? As I look at this on the screen like this, I think, to be honest with you, this all boils down to just being someone that cares. Like they care to say good stuff. They care to give you hugs, or they care to give you gifts. They care to spend time with you. They care to do things for you. Like this is just, to me, this just sounds like a good person, a good man or a good woman. That to me personally, like you might not even know that these are the things that you're doing on a list, but obviously someone has put this together and say, hey, this is basically what a good person does. You know what I'm saying? A good person wants to be there for you in a special way, especially if that's your significant other. Hey, I want to make sure the person knows that I love them, I care about them, I want to support them. And I think that this list, now that I look at it like this, I just feel like this is a good person. This is, at what point in time do you not do these things? At what point in time do you not say, hey, wife, I love you, right? At what point in time, like you say, yeah, I give her a 30-second hug or whatever it case be. At what point in time do you not buy her gifts? At what point in time do you not, take her to dinner or make dinner for her? So I think that this is just a good man or a good woman. What's your thoughts?
I think a lot of it has to do with knowing your partner.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, say for instance, like my wife, she like for instance, like when we first got together, she started just trying to buy me stuff, like, oh, I think he'll like this shirt, or oh, I think he'll like this watch, and blah, blah, blah. And giving gifts and receiving gifts is not my love language. Hell, I don't even know what the hell I want, let alone telling somebody else what to buy me.
Right,
Uh,
right.
But I realized, hey, she's doing this stuff just because she's trying to show me that she loves me. However, gifts is not her primary love language, so she's not paying attention necessarily in the way to get me the right gift. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
You know what I'm saying? So to alleviate that, I say, hey, look, if you ever want to buy me anything just to show you love me, tell the kids to get me some crazy ass socks or some cowboy stuff, Dallas Cowboy stuff, and we'll be all right. I know you finna hate on them. It's cool. It's cool. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, though, it laid the foundation for my family. If they ever say, hey, you know what, we want to buy daddy something, they know what to buy, and they know it's something that I'll appreciate and I'll treasure, versus them pissing in the dark trying to figure out, how to reward me with a gift.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like that too, which is interesting because I did have one relationship where this female was kind of like, yeah, I want to buy you stuff or whatever. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It's like the stuff that she was buying me, I don't know. I was like, I do not want to wear this. I don't want to wear none of this stuff she buy. I mean, I appreciate it, but I'm gonna tell you what pissed her off. Like, she ended up buying me a hand game, because I saw something on TV and I said, man, that's look kind of cool. So the next day, she went out and wrapped it up and all that good stuff, and she got it for me, but I never played with it. And when I tell you, we were like in this heated, I don't even know what the conversation was about, but we were talking, and she was like, and you never opened up that game system I brought. Oh my God. Like, this is like 6 months late. I mean, to be honest with you, man, I mean, I was just speaking like it would be cool. It looks cool. And she went out and got it, and I appreciated it. But I was like, it wasn't like something I really, really wanted. So it was kind of like, but I didn't do it to be like hurtful, but I didn't know it hurt her feelings. So I had to apologize. Like, I apologize. I'm not a game person like that.
Right. And that's I know exactly where you're coming from, man. I'm the same way. But professionally speaking, it happens. Excuse me. It happens the same way, because any leader can tell you that you got to be able to, or it'd be wise to be able to understand the personalities of the people under your charge, and to be able to manage that talent or those attributes in a productive way, right? And I say all that to say this. At this one job I had, my boss told me he wanted to have a certified water lab. And so for anybody that don't know, that means whenever my soldiers were going out taking water samples all across Germany, they brought them back to my lab, or the lab in my office, and we processed it. And so in order to have a certified lab, it has to be by the book, right? And so I had one soldier that had a chemistry degree. And I said, well, shit, what better person to put in a water lab than I'm trying to get a water lab running than a person that has a chemistry degree? So problem one solved. Well, the other problem is that she was really meek and timid. And in my water lab, I needed to be a sterile environment. No eating, no whatever. When you come in, you put on your smock, you do all your stuff, and it's by the book. But once she got it up and running, I had another soldier that just loved to cuss everybody out. That was her style. If you wanted to reach her, you had to talk to her like anything but a child of God. But that's what got her attention.
Right.
And so I put her in the water lab because her language was, if Sergeant Benton gave me this job, I'm not going to let him down. I don't care if I hurt your feelings in the process. So that was the personality and that language that I needed at that time to make sure that the other soldiers' hard work didn't go by the wayside because I replaced her with somebody who didn't care.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So it depended on how you look at it, man. These languages and these loves and all of this is it's tools, it's attributes, and you know, like saying, it's about knowing your partner. And if you find out what your partner's love language is, that doesn't mean you have to change yours. It's just saying sometimes if I want to show affection in the way that my partner understands it naturally, then you speak their language.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like, I don't know, if you've ever been in France, they don't want you speaking French if you're an American. No, we'll talk to you in American because we don't want you butchering our language.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny that you said that, because there are a lot of people, their love language is vile. You're like, I want you, like, I want that energy, because you talking to me crazy shows me that you care and you love me. You know what I'm saying? Curse me out, say this to me, like, and I see that on social media. Like, I'll notice that if you talk to someone, like, let's say you talk to someone, um, salute, righteous ruthless. If you talk to someone nicely, it's like, nah. But if you curse them out, you get their attention. Like, for some people, I noticed that it's like that's how they speak. That's their love language. That's how they communicate, and that's what they want. It's a lot of, I mean, I've seen a lot of things on social media, especially with a lot of the what is the name? I forgot that lady's name, but she was just like, hey, I want, I want my man to, walk up to me and choke me out. Like, I was like, what? I was like, but I mean, it's some people that that's how they move around,
I think people ought to exercise a little patience and realize whatever crazy stuff you want somebody to do, there's somebody out there to do it. You just got to be, we just have to be patient as a person and find them. And then once we find somebody that can do all that crazy stuff, we can't be looking at the exterior.
Does that make sense? Oh yeah. It definitely does. So are we saying that, this right here, these love languages, this is a good shell, but there's a lot more to this than just this list. Like, there are a lot more things intertwined, kind of unspoken rules that need to happen. Because here's the thing, there's nothing on here about consistency. I think that should be something, like, that should be, whatever it is that you decide to do, make sure that you stay consistent at it. Because it's all good, you say words of affirmation at the beginning of the relationship, you know what I'm saying? But throughout the relationship, you never say, hey, you look beautiful, or, I like, what you did with your hair, or whatever. If you never say that again, then it doesn't matter if you started out great and you was doing the physical touch and you never touched him or her again. You bought him gifts when you first got together, and you never brought roses. You never brought roses again. You never spent time, or it was never really quality time. Every time we got together, I was always on my phone. I was always connected to social media. So I think that consistency needs to be added to this list, like, to ensure that you stay consistent. I think that is definitely appreciated.
Absolutely. Speaking of consistency, I think one thing we should recognize is that when we are consistent, and the minute we stop being consistent just out of nowhere, hey, that's going to raise some flags, you know what I'm saying, in anybody's brain.
Oh, yeah.
When we're being consistent, then we just fall off for no apparent reason.
Yeah. I think what we have to do, there's definitely have to be a level of understanding, because sometimes when people stop being consistent, it could be something internally going on, where they're distracted. So as a partner, you need to make sure that, you have that conversation. Is everything okay? You know what I'm saying? And to learn when your partner is not at their A game, to have that conversation. Because I think what happens is, when people see you shy away, let's just say for some reason you're not yourself, you're not at 100% in a relationship. A lot of times, people are like, well, maybe they cheating, you know what I mean? Or maybe they're, doing something else where I'm not good enough, or I'm not. And I think that's where you need to learn your partner at, and learn that they go through some real life shit.
Absolutely. Yep, because my wife and hell, my whole family do that. We ask each other all the time, hey, we good? I'm saying, to make sure we got any issues we need to talk about to keep us from getting to the next step. We good? We square business? Everything square? All right, then let's keep playing. Those constant check-ins. Hey, we got any issues?
Definitely, definitely. You know what, man? When I tell you, man, it is something that really just gratifies me to see people working to like it to see people working together, whether personal or professional, just to see people able to come together and make things happen. That's on a great grand level or scheme. Like I love to see, people say power couples, but I love to see just everyday regular people doing everyday regular shit. Like they walking in the park, they're sitting under a tree and talking. Like I love to see people able to kind of just connect. You know what I'm saying? Like this conversation right here, man. I think it's cool as hell. Two grown men saying, hey, the importance of love languages, how it affects us, how it affects our family, and then have the people in the chat. I see right now, it's a lot of people chiming in right now. Salute to y'all. And it's just to talk about something that normally I'm be honest with you, a lot of black people don't talk about. You know what I'm saying? We don't. I mean,
Hey, we got our stigmas, bro.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I'm sure there is some conversation. I'm just saying, overall, these conversations are far and few. So I just think it's important for us to, yeah, great. We're exercising love languages, but you have to make sure that you're consistent. And when you're off the mark, whoever you're dealing with, hopefully they're patient. Patience and consistency. So you have to make sure. Rondell, looks like you fell off, man. Just hit the link and come back. Okay. Okay, you're back. Patience and consistency, I think, definitely needs to be added to this list. Like it needs to be in there. The words, maybe it is. I didn't read all of the. It might be in there. It might be something. But yeah, patience and consistency.
I think I could be willing and brave enough to try something new.
Mm,
Especially when it comes, having a more fulfilling life. And they say knowledge is power, and the reason why it's power is because once you know better, you should do better. Make better decisions, make wiser choices, and all of that. But back to this love language thing. I mean, it even applies to your children.
definitely.
So I don't want us to get just caught up in the man and woman thing. It definitely plays a role in our, like I said, our kids' behavior. Kind of the same way. Like my son, he is personal touch because he got that from his mother.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So I know
Is
that.
it possible to get adopt someone else's love language?
Absolutely.
That's interesting. I never thought about that. Like I take on the love language of my parents or one of my parents. That's interesting. I never even thought about that.
Both of my parents were kind of doers in the sense that, what, here, like, for instance, like my father, I grew up in the country. And so whenever I would work, I'd be like, hey, where my money? He was like, you gonna eat, ain't you? You worked. You know what I mean? That's your paper. You're gonna sleep somewhere tonight, right? All right, you got paid. So to me, just early on, money came out, just was erased from the equation. You know what I'm saying? So it just became about, hey man, just do good for people because you can't buy people no more. So you know what I'm saying? So and that's kind of where I got my love language from. My stepfather, my mom, both the same way. They just do for people.
Hmm.
And that's what I do. My brothers are the same way.
No doubt, no doubt. I think I'm telling you right now, I think acts of service and quality time to me, um, I don't know. I kind of feel like all of these things are. I don't know if receiving gifts is really high on the priority, but if I was to prioritize, I think receiving gifts would be like the last one, and I'm just trying to figure out which one would be. And I really think that I should be leaning more towards words of affirmation, but really not for me, but encouraging other people. Like that's something that I feel it's important to do because I realize that there are. I mean, you would think that people have 100 people around them encouraging them, but I'm telling you, man, when you talk to people, they be like, nah, man, I don't really have anybody to talk to. I don't really have anybody around to talk with. So it's like I just try, whether I'm in a grocery store, I'm at a gym, I just try to just give some kindness, some time to say, hey, a great job at the gym. Like I say, somebody at the a male at the, hey, bro, hey, I seen you was over there killing it. I see somebody on the track, hey, you was out there really killing it today. So I just feel like it's very important that we encourage one another, we build one another, we exercise, positivity with one another. But I think that for some reason, people shy away from it. They shy away from it. It's like that's not their thing, so to say. It looked like riding dirty fella. I'm gonna drop this link again. Anybody that wants to join the conversation, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this video. I think that these videos, we played the female's perspective. I want to play the male's perspective as well. So let me play this real quick for you guys.
Right. And so that's something my wife and I have had to work through since the first.
Do you guys both do business together? You guys both entrepreneurs? Like, I'm
no.
curious.
So she's in the industry. She sings, models, acts, and I'm a corporate sales professional.
Got you.
So there's a balance.
Mm-hmm.
She has the freedom to go out and audition and do that stuff. I make sure that everything is taken care of. Right.
Got you.
Whenever she starts booking the 8 or 9 years of national commercials, then I'm gonna sit back and be like, okay,
your turn.
Stay at home dad status, right?
Hey, no wrong with that.
I love it.
We talked about having the woman earn more money. I would welcome that opportunity.
I would too,
because
man.
like I said,
I like being.
Well, I mean, as long as she is the same. If she make more money, if she had the same thought process as you have, like.
Yeah.
No, I don't appreciate him taking the thought process. I don't appreciate him taking that. But yeah, would you date someone that made more money than you? If you're a guy and the person that you're dealing with, makes more money than you, the female that you're dealing with make more money, would you guys feel ashamed? Like, I wouldn't feel ashamed. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if it would. I don't think it would matter to me. You know what I'm saying? They say some things money can't buy. A great conversation, a great experience in reference to quality time, a partner, someone to really love and be there. There's some things that money can't buy. You can go buy a lot of materialistic shit, but really, can you buy somebody to care about you? Can you buy someone to care about you? Yeah, they can fake pretend. Like, sometimes I feel sorry for celebrities, man, because it's like you never know why people want to be attached or affiliated to you. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think I would have an issue with it if a woman made more money than me. You know what I'm saying? Because I realize that what I'm providing for that woman is me. And I would like to think that everybody feels like they're priceless. You see what I'm saying? You can't put a value on what it is that you bring to the table when you talk about companionship. Companionship is like off the charts. You know what I'm saying? And I realize there's some people who pay for escorts and do all of those things or whatever. But really, at the end of the day, when you're sick, you want somebody to be there. You know what I'm saying? When you're sad, you want somebody to be there. When you're lonely, you want somebody to be there. But you want someone to be there genuinely. You know what I'm saying? That's an honest person. That's a good person. So yeah, I think that I wouldn't necessarily care if my significant other or girlfriend made more money than me. I mean, I think that it helps with a better life, but our companionship to me is what should be valued more. Let's get back to the video.
Of course, because like I said, it's all coming to the same place. Right. It's a collective.
Because women get more money and be like, so we just gonna spend all my money, but we don't think that way, right?
Nah,
you know what I mean? Not to get back on finances. I'm just saying that's a part of it.
There's nothing wrong with being on finance. But I think that's good. That's
real. But that's also I think people that look at couples that look at finances separately would be more inclined to.
Let me give you guys some some communication one-on-one real quick. People talk about body language, right? And there's a lot of people, like I see, like especially here on YouTube, well, on social media period, body language says a lot. If a person is interested in the conversation, if a person's annoyed with the conversation, if a person's lost in the conversation. So I'm looking at the gentleman over here with his mouth covered, and I noticed that when he's speaking, in a room full of men at the table, he's not as confident as everybody else. He's not confident in what it is that he's saying. You see what I'm saying? Even when he laughed, he covered his mouth. So he's not confident in what he's saying. And you guys can kind of see, I want you guys to see all of the men and who they're looking at. Immediately, this man, once he sat down, he owned the table. He promoted dominance. You notice everybody else is kind of like, okay, I'm gonna jump in and say this and I'm gonna say that. But this guy is actually talking. You notice that, like that energy. You see what I'm saying? It's the energy that you give off or whatever it can be. So this is my, you know, my observation for anybody out there. When you sit down and you have a panel discussion, especially if it's like this and you can see everybody, make sure that your body language is saying, I'm confident in what it is that I'm saying. I believe in what it is that I'm saying. Because a lot of times, you know, people could see that, you know, it's almost like, to me, why even be on the panel? If you're not confident in what you're saying, you don't believe it, then why even be on the panel? Bring something to the table, be an asset to the conversation. Don't be scared. This is your time to shine. Speak on what you know on. And I'm sure that this conversation about love languages, you know, was something, one, you should have read up on or done some research, and you would have been able to be more confident. But it's almost like you can tell the shift in dominance on this conversation. And I know that this is not really the topic, but I just want to give you guys some encouragement and give you guys this observation in regards to, if you're going to sit on a panel with other men, other women, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, make sure that you're there to own your truth. You're there to speak on your experience. And your experience is your experience. Can't nobody deny your experience. So be confident when you're speaking.
To deal with that issue, as opposed to one that has already developed a system where we look at everything collectively. Okay. So if she gets, you know, we have a year where she can, you know, tear it up in Hollywood and everything is good. That's right. And I can chill at home and make sure that the kids are taken care of, I would welcome that. That's right. There is no pride that would not allow me to do that.
What's your love language? Man, because you're in the heat of things right now. With
I know, right?
Serious relationship.
Just communication. Like I never liked, if, you know, when my girl, if she's sad or she's going through something, she can't talk about it. Mm-hmm. Like because that can go for days and weeks, and just being quiet and us not communicating verbally. Yeah, it weigh on you, especially as a man. When your woman not talking to you, like, your day can go bad. Mm-hmm. You know, everybody knows that. So like communication, I tell so when I first got with her, I really told her, look, this is me. This is what I like in a woman, and I didn't sugarcoat anything. Mm-hmm. Because the games people play in relationships is too much sometimes. It's too heavy, especially in the beginning, obviously. Mm-hmm. So what happens with that is when you're just honest and truthful with the person, it helps. So I communicated very well with her what I've been through, the type of.
Look, man, look. I know we talking about love languages. I just have an issue when a man can't look me in the eye. I'm just telling you, man. I just have an issue when men can't look me in the eye. You know what I'm saying? And you get the, you know, playing with the table and doing all this other stuff. I don't know. It's just like, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's I don't know. It just, I don't know. It just kind of, I want to say rubbing me the wrong way. I'm just saying it's just, you have to be assertive. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a conversation. There's no wrong answer here. You know what I'm saying? There's no wrong answer here. And I just feel like this, to me, this guy is not showing any example of being in the conversation. It's like he's trying to find his words. He's struggling, trying to figure it out. And it's like, man, just talk, just speak. You know, just speak. It's so choppy for some reason. And it doesn't have to be choppy. You know, be able to, he asks you a question. He's sitting right in front of you and you're looking down. You're barely making eye contact. You're big guy. You know what I'm saying? You know, be confident, because here's the thing. Your wife or your girlfriend or females, they're going to see this conversation. And when you have a chance to speak, what are you saying? And that's what I say to a lot of content creators. When you have an opportunity to speak, what are you saying? You You know, if the premise is for us to have a conversation, and let's have the conversation without distractions, without nonsense. Let's just do this thing. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of times when people have a chance to speak, you know, they you know, like right now, the things that he's doing with his hands and looking down, to me, I'm just like, what the hell is he looking? Is the words on the table? Who you look? I used to always tell my soldiers, look me in the eyes. Let me know who you are. Stand on what it is that you believe in. I just, you know what I'm saying? Sim says, so says good advice. I appreciate that. I'm just trying to, you know, help some people out, because as we look at this, you know, I just feel, and this is a series, which is interesting. You know, every time you give advice or you start speaking on yourself, you looking down. Like, I don't know if I could trust that, but I want you guys to look at the body language here, you know, and I want you to look at when people are confident, how they sound and how they control the table versus the people that's just like, yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, it's like, I think those people should be replaced and put some people on there that are bold in their confidence, you know, that are bold. I can look you in your eyes and speak as a man. But you guys, I mean, I could be, you know, maybe. I feel like I'm right, but you guys let me know in the comments what you think.
A girl that I like now, a woman, and where we can go if we just do this. And it's not controlling, it's just communication. Mm-hmm. So if she's heard about something, she'll tell me. Like, don't wait until 2 weeks from now and be like, oh, I went through this, because at that moment I'm not gonna care really. It's 2 weeks later. Right. So we could talk about it. Even the best time to talk about something sometime, believe it or not, is in your emotions, because it can get hype. Like the hype can go up of how loud you communicate or how much.
Did he say the best time to talk? Listen, that was bad advice, ladies and gentlemen. That's bad advice. And because he's struggling with the conversation, even though he's saying, see, right now, here's the thing, man. This is my yeah, he could be. And let me throw this on the screen. You're exactly right. He could be a shy person. You're exactly right. And let me tell you something. If you shy, don't get your ass on a talk show. Don't get your ass on a talk show. You're going to have to speak. And because you're trying to grab something, like you ever see a person saying a bunch of stuff because they hopefully something they say makes a point. Here's the thing. He just said, oh, so when you're in your emotions, that's the best time to talk about something. No, it's not. It's not. You do not want to talk to an overly emotional person, because here's the thing. For them to get their point across, they're going to take it to the full out extreme. For them to get the one up, for them to get the win in the conversation, that is not the best time to talk to someone. You want to talk to people when they're level-headed. You want to talk to people that's going to actually talk back, not talk on you, talk around you, talk over you. You want to have a conversation with people. And this is the issue when you give advice like that. Oh, the best time to talk to someone is when they're emotional. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Now, we playing football. You know what I'm saying? And I'm mad because, you know what I'm saying, it's third and long and we got to get it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm emotional, but, you know, but no one wants to look at their spouse like an opponent. No one wants to look at their family member like the enemy. No one want to look at the person, you know what I'm saying, that they're dating as if they're a naysayer. Like, I don't want to talk to you when I'm overly emotional, because I may say some things where before there was a filter. Now it's no filter. Now I'm about to go in. I never liked your goddamn hair. Who wears that type of lipstick? Like, I mean, you know, you don't want to do that. You know, we definitely need to exercise emotional control and balance. And I think sometimes when we get into like situations like this, if you're not sound, like you can't, and I get he might be simply shy, but because of his shyness, to me, he's giving out bad advice because he's trying to find something where these men will resonate with. And I wish somebody would have stopped him and said, well, why do you think being emotional is the best time to have the conversation? No, what's going to happen is it's going to be a reason for that emotional person to disrespect you. It's going to be a reason for that emotional person to go out and sleep with somebody else, because what you're doing is you're pouring fuel on a fire. You're pouring fuel on a fire. That's exactly what you're doing when you're talking to someone that's already emotional, because obviously they can't control themselves. They can't control themselves. I got you, Riding Dirty. Okay. So let's play some more. Here we go. Here we go, y'all. Here we go, y'all. It's Friday.
But you argue. But something is going to get accomplished right there. But if you wait too late, it's going to be like, well, at that moment, I was just thinking about this and that. But if you talk about it when it's going on, I'm telling you, it will really help the whatever the problem is. But sometimes people just shut down. Yeah. And shutting down is not healthy. Period. Communication, man, is everything.
I think that's part of the social conditioning that some people have. I grew up in an environment where certain problems are talked about. If that problem affects everybody, we talk about it. If it doesn't, then you don't talk about that. Wow. And it's not that wasn't a rule. It's just that's just the way that it was. Now I don't know all the 5 love languages because I feel like there are more than just 5. The way that I love, I have this. I love making people laugh. I know right now I may seem a little serious in this round table talk, but I am the biggest nerd and goofball. I'm gonna play pranks. I'm gonna crack jokes. I'm gonna tell you crazy stories. I'll tell you what happened in my day. One of my love languages is making you laugh. Whether you're my best friend that I play college ball with, or if you're my little sister or my significant other. Also, I like physical touch, but too much of it, it's like a cat. You rubbing the cat, and after a while they're like, all right. That's enough. It's sometimes it can be a little too much. I had a rough time dealing with that wonderful creature that we call a woman because I didn't know how to understand her. So my love language is you never will. And you never will because you are not them. It's like I don't know what it feels to be 7.5 feet tall, and I never will because I'm not. But I'm just using a crude example. But one of my love languages, is laughter, and communication is definitely key. I don't know if these other love languages. So anybody out there, excuse me if I'm getting them wrong. But that is I'm one who grew up with a lot of conformity and a lot of rules.
Let me say this to you guys too. Okay. I don't know if this was a well, I'm sure it was planned. Or I don't know if it was like they talked about a bunch of topics and they went back and they chopped it up. But I will say this. For nobody at this table to be able to address all 5 love languages is a travesty. It's a travesty. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it just shows because to me, hell, I would have got the damn phone out and Googled it real quick or whatever. And I just feel like a lot of times, it's great to have conversations, you guys. It's great. But if you don't do any research, it's kind of like you talking in the dark. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with what's being said. I'm just saying why not get the answer? Why not get the answer? And I said that's a difference between men and women sometimes, because on the other little podcast, those women were able to regurgitate all the love languages, whereas these guys were like, okay, well, here's 2, here's 3. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, well, let's check it out. Let's see what it is, so that way we can put that information out so people can have all of the information at one time. Because guess what? If I'm watching this as a man and I'm saying, okay, well, shit, hey, what are the love languages? And then now I got what he said, physical touch, gifts and whatever it can. So I now only leave with that information. I don't have all the information at one time. And I think that's the problem. When you do things half-assed, it's great to have the conversation. It's great for everyone to sit down, and everybody chop it up and talk. But hey, I need to know what are the love languages? You know what I'm saying? And what's your take on the love languages? Which one is the most important to you? Do you have more? Did you change them up as you got older? And I just think that the conversation definitely could have went a lot better with more information. And I think that these guys are ill-informed. And when, they say there's a level of ignorance when you're ill-informed about certain things, not that these gentlemen are ignorant, but, they're ill-informed. There may be another love language that will suit this conversation, but they don't know it. And I think that it would have been feasible for someone to say, well, let me grab my phone real quick and Google it. So then we can start this discussion, and I'm curious to see if anyone, we're about 6 minutes in. I'm curious to see if anyone is going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's a valuable conversation, and I'm glad that these gentlemen are having it. But when he said, I don't know it, somebody at that table should have been able to say, hey, these are the 5 love languages, but no one did. And I think that it's almost a punch in the face, you know, for these gentlemen not to know it, you know, because it's almost like you're speaking blindly now. You know, you're speaking blindly now. All right, let's get back to it.
And a lot of stringent guidelines.
Mhm.
I am more having a more of an amoeboid type of approach to things. It's fluid. Like I'm more natural. Nature doesn't go with rules and get stringent lines and angles and things like that. I like things to be fluid, which is why I communicate. And I can, to your point, Kay, sometimes being in your emotions when you communicate, one of your love languages, if you, any of you do something, say we all best friends, right? And I have something that is very near and dear to me, but it's personal and it's private and it hurts when you bring it up. And you make a joke about it in front of somebody that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you that look like, hey,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing, bro? You know, because if I say, oh, okay, come on, man, don't josh me like that. No, I'm gonna let you know, hey, man, that ain't cool, bro.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, you're honest with yourself, but honest with that other person. Like, hey, man, that's not what we do.
Yeah.
And with that level of communication, sometimes I've been told in relationships or dating that I'm intimidating because of my size, my voice, my stature, and the way I look. They say the look on my face is like a look of death. And someone that
why you gotta look my direction?
one woman that I dated one time, she just went and started talking about some private stuff to people, and I said, hey, come here for a second. What are you doing? You know, I gave her that look like, why would you do that to me? You know what I'm saying? She was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, that's not fair.
You know, you guys, I don't know how much longer I'm gonna watch. I don't know, because I don't like when you have a panel and it's everybody is not in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm looking at this. I'm hearing what this guy is saying. There's nothing wrong with what he's saying. Cool, great. But I'm looking at this panel. Let me let it play. But let me cut the sound. Hold on. I'm looking at this right here, and the guy on the left with the sweater, he hasn't said shit. They've been there for 7 minutes. He hasn't said nothing. What the hell? Like he hasn't interjected and said anything. And I really want to see if he's gonna come in and say anything because it's just interesting to me. Like here's the thing, man. If you guys have life experience, no one can take away what you've learned out of life. No one can take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? If you don't feel comfortable with what you've learned out of life, hell, some people maybe they don't learn a lesson. Maybe they don't learn a lesson, and I get it. But when you get on these things right here, you laughing. I don't know. It just I don't know. Let me tune back in. Hold on. I just want to see if he's gonna talk. Let me see if he's gonna talk. He's talking now. Let me listen to what he got to say.
I will say that because for me, coming from a military background, everyone in my family.
Oh Lord, he's coming from military, but it's 9 minutes in. He just started talking. Come on, man. I'm gonna shut up. But I'm just saying, come on, man. If you're gonna be in the conversation, be in the conversation. Be in the conversation. But I'm gonna see what he says. Here we go.
Was the military aside from myself, so we didn't talk about problems or issues. But from the males of our family, the love language that was constantly displayed was being able to provide, to where your significant other didn't have to worry about anything. Wow. So my love language was more so to make sure we would always have food on the table. We had a place. Anything you wanted to do. Actions, yeah. Like anything you wanted to do, I would bust my ass. Or I would work hard to I would work hard.
Who knows what I'm about to say? Who knows what I'm about to say right now? Who knows what I'm about? I'm about to piss somebody off. Listen. Ladies and gentlemen, when he said putting food on the table, right? Providing for my family, and the guy said actions, he doesn't understand the love language he's explaining. You understand what I'm saying? And this is why I said it's important to understand what you're talking about. So his first thing should have been, hey, my love languages is, acts of service. I provide, that to me, that does it for me, being a provider to my family or to my significant other. You understand what I'm saying? You see how you lead with that? I mean, you ain't got to say it like that, but I'm just saying he didn't know that's where what he did fit into the love language conversation. That's why it's important to say if it's 5 love languages, right? Then damn, why not just say, okay, these are the 5 love languages, so that way these guys can say, yeah, okay, this is my love language. I think that's the first thing that should have happened. What are your love languages? Like, what is your love language? And go around the table. What's your love language, right? And why is that important to you? Are you dating anybody? Are you married? Okay, cool. What's their love language? And just kind of see how well-rounded these guys are. And I hope somebody would be honest. Like, man, I ain't never okay, riding dirty. I hope somebody would be honest and say, yeah, I don't know what the hell my love language is, because a lot of people don't know. But then when you watch shows like this, and you hope that what I'm saying, forward to the guy with the sweater. Yeah, he's talking now. I'm gonna let him talk. He just said he got a military background, so I'm definitely interested in what he has to say. But Ron Dirty out. He said I'm back. Let me drop this. If you guys want to join the panel, feel free to pull up. Feel free to pull up. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. So let's listen to what he says. Let's listen to what he has to say.
To make sure that we could do that and that it won't be a stress on your back. Communication is one that I'm really working on, because that was like a detriment to my previous relationship. And I was aware of that, but I was too selfish to like address it. When I came to the end of my previous relationship, she told me that one of the biggest issues was my lack of communication, my lack of just being.
Hold on, wait. It was your lack of communication. That's exactly what I just said, y'all. 9 minutes in, and you just now talking. Yeah, and damn sure it's still your problem, your lack of communication. Car said the drinks need to be refilled. Yeah, I can definitely see why your significant other said it was your lack of communication. I can see. I could definitely see it. No harm, no foul. But I get it, brother. You have to kind of open up a little bit more. There's a level of uncertainty there. When men are talking, men should speak. Let me say that again. When men are talking, men should speak. Not just if there's a group of men, then all the men should be speaking. Not just one or two. Shay Watson says, "Stop being hard on the sweater guy." Ron Dirty, welcome back, man. Welcome back.
Verbally honest with what I wanted, where we were at. So like now, post relationship, back again to therapy is able to help me be able to communicate more of what I'm feeling, what I want, not being too afraid to say like, I want to hit this level in our relationship before we do.
Let me tell you something real quick that I really want to point out real quick. I am so happy that he said therapy. That's awesome. I'm glad that you're talking to. It's not just a guy down the street that you met in the club, or your cousin. Or I'm glad that you sought some professional help, and I'm glad that it was on this platform. I'm sure it was lots of people who saw this. That's awesome. That is awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. And I can kind of see, what I'm saying, that he's in a good place in regards to saying, hey, I'm in therapy or whatever case to be. That's that healing process, a part of that healing process, along with, what I'm saying, being physically fit and doing those things, whatever. Those things go hand in hand. Rod Dirty, what's up, man?
Hey man, I'm just soaking it all up, man.
No doubt. I can play a little bit more, man. Give you some time to chime in or something. So anything you want to chime in, just chime in, brother. Play
All right.
All right.
Do X, Y, and Z. I wasn't doing that in my previous, but I was always making sure that, hey, if we want to do something,
Got it.
I got that.
Right.
So
Another thing that I found in recently, because I've been doing a lot of self-realization, self-preparation, self-repair. You know what I'm saying? Having dealt with a lot of pain, emotional and social pain, which leads to physical pain. And you're stressed out and stuff. Like you said, get bound up in your back and in your neck, you know, all that stuff. You know, if you're cracking your neck and popping a lot, you're probably dealing with some stress. But being open with your communication within the emotionalities that are at play, whether it's anger or sorrow or fear or happiness, you allow the other person to not only see your vulnerabilities, but it drops that wall or that veil to where they can probably feel more comfortable. Because sometimes if you hold something in, you know, like your therapist, you know, and he stands there or sits there and stares at you and doesn't say anything, and you're like, well, I don't know what to say. But if, you know, if you say, hey, yo, you know, I'm really sad right now, and I don't know why. You're expressing something to someone, and they may be sad at times too. Yeah. And the fact that you can open up and express that to them can afford them a chance to maybe drop down walls that they may have and be open with you. I had a young lady that I dated once, and I said, well, just do this and go over here because these people over here are nosy, and I don't like people in my business. They can be saying stuff that ain't true. And she said, well, why don't we do this? Because if we do that, I'm just telling you right now, Tree is my nickname. She said, Tree, that makes me feel uncomfortable. I've been hurt a lot, and I don't do well with situations like that. Right. Boom. I knew exactly where she was coming from. Yep. I understood. And sometimes it's not about the emotion. It's the way it's understanding. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If a child is screaming and crying because they're afraid of the dog, you don't take them and put them in front of the dog. You pick it up and say, oh, hey, it's going to be okay. I understand. Right. You know, and then you make sure that that dog's not around when that child is around, because that traumatizes and terrifies the child. So with me, I had to learn to bring back my stuff, because a lot of my stuff was, I was small as a kid. You know, really scrawny little kid. You know, I was little, you know, and I got bullied and picked on and talked about. He used to call me Howdy Doody, you know, and I grew up. You know, I got bigger and started protecting myself. You know, I turned myself into this machine, and that I found to be not only intimidating but debilitating to whatever relationship that's at play. And it took me years to control that anger. I had one sister; she got in my face, and she got right in my face. And she said, you are one angry blank, 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 blank. And she stood right there in my face, little bitty thing. And I was like, and the way she said it, it just rang my bell. And I was like, and I did it, and I'm standing there and I realized what my posture was. Right? Do you all remember the cartoon, The Hunchback of Notre Dame? Yeah. When,
you know what I find interesting, and I see that a lot too, just studying people's behavior. The guy that says, I just want to make people laugh. Like that's one of my love languages. You know, I like to, you know, I like to make people laugh, is the same guy that at one point in time says that I had so much built up anger. Is that not interesting? Ryan, what you think about that, bro?
Oh yeah, that's definitely interesting. You know, and that just goes to show you, you know, no matter how big or small or what, you know, people look like on the outside, everybody got something that they're insecure about. Yeah, everybody that's carrying some kind of burden, you know what I mean, that affects how they carry themselves in public.
Definitely. And I think it's just, I think that these conversations right here, to me, are healthy and well needed. And I'm happy that I came across this video. Just matter of fact, hey, salute to you, man, because you're the one that suggested the love language conversation. And I'm just glad that I was able to show both the male and the female perspective. So and then to have our interacting conversation as well. And I appreciate you guys in the chat. You guys are an asset to this conversation as well. So, but it's just interesting to me that he said, you know, hey, you know, my sister had to kind of give me some tough love and tell me how angry I was, etc. You know, and I don't know how long ago that was, but for him to be like, you know, I'm the guy that, you know, I want to make people laugh. I want to, you know, bring the humor, you know, to the table. And I think that was just interesting that he was saying, or it was said that, you know, he was, you know, an angry guy. So I think that it's just interesting, and it resonates. It definitely resonates with me. Just looking at it, because it's like, you know, you never, like you say, you never know what someone's going through or what they've been through. You know what I'm saying? You never know. So that's why you because we don't know, hey, this guy could be on the verge of snapping right now. You know what I mean? And suppose there was someone at the table that says, okay, I want to be an agitator. You know, I want to, you know, disrupt this union or this conversation. And this guy right now is like, hey, you know, I'm an angry person.
Well, I don't know about you, but back in the day, I used to be like, "Hey, man, I'm not about to dog these soldiers out and make them feel some kind of way." Because y'all forget next week we got to go qualify, right?
Yeah. I was never one of the even as a first sergeant, man. I was never one of those guys that really wanted to pound the soldiers. Like I always, because I used to always have these non-commissioned officers, good non-commissioned officers, but you get one or two people, and it's like they let the power go to their head, and it's like I have a we like let's say PT in the morning. Like we just did a company run or whatever case may be. We get back or whatever, and I guess the soldier they done something or whatever, and it's like I understand smoking a soldier or whatever, but I was always one of them NCOs where I'm gonna get down with you. You know what I'm saying? If I'm saying, hey, front, back, go, like okay, you know. But I see people where they stand over top of the soldier, and it's just like they how can I say this? They foam at the mouth, if that makes sense. Like they love it. They love like just like drilling the soldier. Like and you can clearly see that the soldiers had enough. Your point has been made, but it's just like just over and over and over. And it's like, man, come on, man. Like we're destroying the people that we should be teaching and protecting. We're destroying them.
And
And go ahead, go ahead.
I think part of it is, kind of like what I was saying earlier, is that people, a lot of people lack the ability to see inside a person, is just seeing a person, you know what I'm saying? To
Right.
see their strengths and weaknesses, and like I say, how to leverage their strengths and improve their weaknesses.
Ron Dirty, I'm about to get you the hell up out of here for speaking the way you're speaking right now. With common sense. With common sense. Listen, bro. Listen. You know what's so funny? I'm glad you just said that. We as former military personnel, right? That was our thing, though, to evaluate strengths and weaknesses of people, to realize what drives people, to realize what motivates people, to make sure that they are in accordance to the Army rules and regulations. How can I make you the best you? How can I help you pull out the potential that you already have? How can I hone in on that and make you awesome? And it's funny that when you leave the military, there's not people out there doing that. There's not people out there trying to make people better or have conversations that mean anything. So it's funny that you said that, because that was our job for years, to help make people better, to help groom them for success. And it's just interesting that that's not the conversation that I see a lot.
Right. And I think a lot of people get your passion, they don't understand it. But I think those that have been in the military, you know what I mean? Like, we get it. So, it's like, yeah, duh. But a lot of people just don't understand the passion behind it, because they don't, because the Army is a lifestyle. The military is a lifestyle. It's not a job. And those people that approach it like a job, they don't like it and they don't last long. But for those that embrace the lifestyle, you thrive, and it's not hard to let go, because you embrace all of the things that the general public love about the military. And that lifestyle, you have to be a mentor. You have to be a leader. You have to be selfless. You have to be available. You have to stand on your word. You can't tell somebody to do something if you haven't done it. It's just all of these little bitty nuances that go into it that become who you are. And even though you take off the uniform, you know what I'm saying, you can't break those habits of helping people become the best version of themselves. Like, I think the public don't understand what it's like to take a young soldier, sit him in front of a bunch of senior non-commissioned officers, and have to sell them as to why this person should get promoted.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Rod and Dirty. No, finish your statement, dog. I don't want to my back.
Just to sell them, but not only that, just like, you see a person that literally come from damn near nothing, and they thrive and they achieve, and the only thing it takes is the right coach and the right people pushing them the right direction. Because, like I say, you see it in a million times over in the military. It works because the structure is there and everybody has a common objective, that to be the most lethal fighting force on the planet, right? that's the one common objective. And but once we get outside the installation, man, that objective ain't the same for everybody.
Yeah.
And so it's
Right.
and it's hard to find that common thread, that commonality, that that shared humanity that spreads across all of us, no matter what color, creed, background, or whatever. We're all human at this level, and send the message at that level where everybody can read it or interpret it.
I totally agree, man. You know what's so interesting is you're right. When you have to explain your passion, I never had to explain it before. When I walked in a room, you know what I'm saying, here comes a leader. I didn't have to say I was a leader. You know that this is a leader. How you carry yourself, the first words out your mouth, your body language. Like
They call that command presence, right?
Definitely. So it's whereas it would be something to strive for or to as a lower enlisted, or hell, as even with your peers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you could be a leader amongst leaders but still stand out. So but there's a unspoken rule per se. It's like, okay, well, hey, lead from the front. Like, do what it is that it takes for you to be great. Do what it is that it takes for your unit to be great, your team, whatever it is. And I just feel like outside the military, the cohesion to be together, to be linked, has nothing to do with being great. It has nothing to do with helping one another. It has nothing to do with building one another. It's the total opposite of what I've been involved with in the 20 years service that I did. It's the total opposite. So when people say, man, I don't get your passion, well, you would if you were positive. You would if you were a leader. You would if accountability was fair and impartial for all. Like you would get the passion. You would understand it. But when you don't have that level of understanding, when you haven't experienced that level of passion, then it's hard for you to relate to it. And I'm telling you right now, when I say I've set up and I've talked to people about it, and it's like, man, maybe you should adjust this and maybe you should adjust that. And it's like, man, I just, I miss the presence of leaders. I miss the presence of people wanting to build. When I see, I'm telling you right now, boy, I used to have some battles, and when I say they got down, they got down. You understand what I'm saying? You talking about especially around the staff sergeant ages. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I'm challenging every soldier to come across me. 13, 15 on the 2 mile, 80 to 82 push-ups on the physical fitness test, 80 to 82 sit-ups. Like I'm talking cash shit, and I wanted my soldiers to say, "Beat me, I am the standard." Beat
That's
me,
right.
but I gave them something to strive for. I didn't just talk shit. I didn't just condemn them.
But that level of healthy competition is missing. Because I remember back in the days when I was young and getting ready to get promoted and all the studying and all of this stuff I had to do. Who was there with me? My best partner at the time. We in there getting it together, going to the board on the same date, doing everything at the same time. Being each other's rabbit. You know what? You went to this school first and you graduated top 10. Guess what? I'm going and I'm graduating top 10 just because you did.
Exactly. You riding dirty. Like there's no push to be good. There's no push to be healthy. There's no push to support. Like if you're doing something crazy on social media, there's a gathering amongst gatherings. But if you're doing something where you're saying like, man, like let's get to a real conversation that's really going to help us. It's some people that say, man, I had no idea what the hell the 5 love languages was. Thanks. You know what I'm saying? I've never heard women speak about the love language. I've never heard men. So you got to think about everything that's happening right now is something special. You see what I'm saying? It's Friday. Here it's 7 p.m. And it's something, to me, it's something special. You have 2 former leaders of military service speaking about, what I'm saying, love languages and leadership or whatever. And I'm telling you, man, that passion, that intensity, the fact that even if soldiers didn't quite understand the objective, the end state of them becoming better, they begin to understand. So they didn't understand the benchmarks it took to be the best soldier they could be. They didn't understand, okay, hey, why are we talking about, PMCS? Why are we talking about, making sure our uniform is straight? Why are we talking about all these things? Because in all there's a bigger picture. So when you go to that board and you stand in front of the first sergeant and that sergeant major and you say, hey, this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's the soldier creed or the NCO creed or whatever, when you speak with authority. You speak with a presence where people can understand you're serious. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't see that command authority here. Like I don't see it on social media. I see a lot of like name calling and other things, but I don't see no real presence, that command presence. I don't see it, brother. And I think people are intimidated by people that have that command presence.
That might be, man, because like I say, it's the tide has to change because destructive behavior can only carry on for so long before either YouTube cracks down on it, because something big enough is going to happen where it's going to get the attention of the folks over at YouTube. And so one or two, a handful of people is going to mess it up for everybody, or more people have to be on the side of right.
You
It's
are
hard.
exactly right, brother. I just hope, I really hope that social media I wish it was. I hope they find a way to make it difficult. Like if let's just say I don't like you riding dirty, so I'm just gonna say a bunch of crazy stuff about you, that's untrue, and whatever. And it's just like a crazy video. Like I'm cursing you out. I'm doing all types of stuff or whatever. I really think that there should be no place for that on social media. They're like you should have to pay to go to a website, make them pay $300 a month. If you really want to be that negative and that crazy, go pay $300 a month, right? And then go somewhere where that's all that platform is about. You see what I'm saying? And I feel like I really hope so, man. I really hope by the time my children become adults, there is a there is a
place.
A cleanse. There's a fix, a cleanse. There's something to mitigate, like a lot of craziness that we see, that we all have easy access to, because you're influencing other people. When people see 1,000 people in your chat for you being negative, that's somebody saying, well, I have to be negative in order to get 1,000 people. It's not someone saying, well, let me be different from that. It's just like, let me emulate and imitate that. And I think that to me is what is heartbreaking, it's gut wrenching, because it's like I've never seen negative behavior so promoted. In 20 years, I've never seen it promoted, and I think that's what shakes me up a little bit. Like, damn, is this really like what's up? Is this really cool?
Like I don't have a channel, and like I say, I don't want to have one. I don't want to. I just don't want a YouTube channel. But anyway, so from the outside looking in, it's obvious that YouTube is a new hustle. You know what I mean? It's the new hustle. It's a race to 1,000 voters, 1,000 subscribers, or whatever, and whatever it is you do to get monetized. Because I sit around and I float, around through the YouTube streets, and I just nope, I'm not taking a right at this next light. I'm gonna keep on going straight because I already know what's down there. Nope. Too many people out just standing in the middle of the road talking about a bunch of BS. Nope, not going down there.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Not only did I unsubscribe, and I hit the not interested. If someone, something suggested, my soul, my shanana, it won't allow me to sit, because some things is just like, when I say vile, my G, like it's just vile, and it's like, man, I feel sorry for people. You know what I'm saying? I feel sorry for people because I'm very optimistic, man. But it's just the things that we will do to one another and call it content, and call it a time well spent. And I just think that, man, it's like, man, if you're imagine me, you know, my little girl come, you know, running in, hey dad, da, 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 and I'm sitting online, you know, cursing out black women. You know what I'm saying? Or you know, you
Right.
know, a homeboy called me like, yo, bro, hey, my girl just broke up, you know, blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm online bashing black men. I'm online, you know, talking about, you know, how bad the gay community is. Like, I just feel like there's a time and a place for everything. But I feel like for some reason, when you say the black sector of YouTube, no one says how great it is, how positive it is, how we build one another up, how we communicate, how we talk about the love language. No one says anything good. No one says nothing good. So if black people can't say that it's good, I want you to think about this, Riding Dirty. Then I'm gonna get a floor to you. If black people can't say that the black sector of YouTube is good, imagine what white people say. Another
Yep.
race of people, imagine what they think when they see we condemn each other online. Then you get mad when they condemn us. Like selective outrage. I'm mad at another race for saying true statements. We destroy one another. We disrespect one another. We degrade one another. When no one's off limits, not even your children. I heard a content creator say, if you post your children, like I post my kid, you know, on my feed, I post my children from time to time, but I post them on my community tab. Like, you know, my daughter the other day had swim lessons and shit, her first swim lesson. And I heard a content creator say, well, if you post your kids online and somebody, you know, basically takes the photo and uploads it, you can't get mad. Man, I went back and deleted that goddamn photo. And I said, this is some sick shit.
Yes, it is.
This is some sick shit, man. Can you imagine somebody now I've already had it happen one time, but I handled that. I nipped that in the bud. But can you imagine someone taking your child's photo to use it for content against you?
Oh yeah, for that negative ass propaganda.
Yeah, man. Listen, man. You
Like I'm not as tough as you, man. Like I say, that's why I don't have a page because I'd have done snapped. And like you say, you know, when you have somebody for years have woken up every day and decided that they just might die that day because that's the life that they live, and they've accepted death every day. We have to be careful how we move around because, like you say, we ain't afraid to go there, but we recognize that we have a lot of shit to lose if we do go there.
I totally agree, brother. And that's why I said it's not the people that talk the loudest on YouTube. To me, they the weakest, but it's the people that are reserved with their emotions. They're reserved. You understand what I'm saying? Like you're while you're making the video or making more videos to condemn and muddy the waters, these people are already gathering what they need to come see you and do a night out. You see what I'm saying? Like it's different. And I just try to tell people, like, just because you're not cussing and fussing and screaming and yelling or whatever, it don't mean that you don't have a level of get her done in you. Like
Right.
it don't mean that. What it means is that you realize that once you cross that line, it's no return. Like it's not gonna just be, you know, disrespect back and forth. It's going to be a catastrophe. You know what I'm saying? When my soldiers and when we went to Iraq, we went to Afghanistan, you know, to see people lose their life, you learn to value life. And I've seen people ask people and plead with people to say, hey man, you know, that's not worth it. You know, let's not do that. Because I've seen people snap before. I've seen people snap before, and it's not pretty. And
No,
normally the people that they snap on are people that's not ready for what's going to happen. They're not ready for it. They are not ready for the consequences or whatever that you know it takes.
you know, speaking of the YouTube streets, man, somebody mentioned attachment earlier today in the earlier live, and I think there's a lot of attachment syndrome going on in my eyes. You get these content creators that come out with good messages, and like I said, YouTube is a new hustle. So people come up and they don't have a message, so they attach their name to the most popular name and call that their message. Uh, And so to anybody listening, man, just hey, if you're here for the entertainment, stay on the entertainment side. Or no, you can come on the growth side, but don't bring the growth over to the entertainment and the entertainment over to the growth. Because it's got to be separated.
You're right.
It's got to be
exactly right.
no
I would call
amount,
this the growth sector.
no amount of praise is going to work over on that side. No amount of peaceful talk or whatever, because like I say, people just want what they want. And peace and positivity is not a part of it. So, we just need to stick to helping the people that want to be helped.
Yeah. I mean, to kind of tailor it back to, the beginning of the topic, which is love languages or whatever.
Right.
Again, I think that there is I have a passion, and there's a need to help people. There's a need to help balance perspectives, to change the narrative. I hate the fact, I despise it that we as Black community on YouTube, a lot of people feel that there is nothing to be gained or learned, that everyone is with the foolishness, and I just feel like there has to be a space. It's almost like we demand this space. This is our area, and it's a part of Black. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like that there has to be light in the darkness. It has to be some light in the darkness. When I'm searching, content creators or what, and I deliberately do things from a marketing standpoint, but I deliberately do certain things. Like when you look up a Charleston White or you look up a Hassan Campbell, I want you to see a Tough Love video. Hell, I might even use their face. I want you to accidentally click on a Tough Love video and say, what the hell is this? And a lot of time, I'm telling you right now, I get emails, bro, and I clicked on your video by accident, goddamn it. But I subscribed because it was to me, it was like, damn, I didn't even know, this even existed. You know what I'm saying? So when I say I'm very I'm humbly proud. I'm humbly proud that, first of all, you caught a video, decided to listen, and got hooked. You have an addiction for life. You have an infinity for life now that you may not have had before. You see what I'm saying? And I think that these conversations matter. And I'm so glad and happy for the people that take their time to be an asset to the conversation. Man, to me, that's a high, bro. That is a high right there.
To see the light bulb go off in somebody's head.
Virtually.
To hear somebody say, I got it.
Virtually, yes. To see virtually, to see someone say, I never thought about it like that before. I only looked at it like this because of the people that were around me looked at it like that. My parents looked at it, my community looked at it, but I'm glad I had something to bounce my perspective off. See, my thing is, I don't want to ever say Ride and Dirty think like me. But I always want to say, well, let me bounce this idea or this perspective off of you. That way I can see how balanced I am as a person. I'm telling you, man, I do it meticulously, and it's always worked in my favor. I'll bring Ride and Dirty to this conversation. Okay, cool. Let me bounce some things off of Ride and Dirty and see where my perspective actually lands. It's either going to land balanced or it's going to be far left. But you would never know that I'm doing that. But I'm just saying it publicly. These are the things that I do because it lets me know where I stand.
Right.
It lets me know where I stand.
And I think you've even seen me doing my own self-troubleshooting when I go back and reply to the videos.
Yes.
You know, so I'm like, no, I shouldn't have said that. That was BS, whatever. So, I think, we just need to realize that we're always under construction. But we are the ones doing the work on ourselves.
Yeah.
We're under construction and we can, God's still working on me. No, God is empowering you to work on yourself.
Right. You're right.
Right. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna play it, let it play out. But I just I'm excited, man. I'm excited to kind of learn my love languages and kind of see, you know, which one works for me. I think at different times, different things are needed. You know what I mean? Sometimes, hey, you need a back rub or you need somebody to say, hey, you're doing a good job or whatever. So I really appreciate the people that say, hey
Yeah.
guys, stay focused. You know what I'm saying?
Because I cosplay for the
Yeah, but I do believe we're all working on ourselves and um we're trying to see betterment, not just for ourselves, but for our families and for the people that surround us. I think that when you take the time and you try to help people grow and try to support them, I think it's infectious. You know what I'm saying? I think when you help someone, I think they help somebody else and they help somebody else, and I think it's infectious. I think that should be I think positivity should be as infectious as negativity. I think that the same way that bad news travel fast, good news should travel fast, and I'm trying to be a part of that change to push that narrative.
Yes, sir. Hopefully, I can be the wind, continue to be the wind in your sails, man.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, man. I'm about to get out here, man. It's Friday, but listen, is
Yes,
there?
sir.
Give us some closing words, man. Give us some closing words about the topic or anything that you feel like you want to speak on.
Hmm. Everybody, it is all right. Before I say this, hey, tough love, man. I appreciate you, brother. You know, like I said, I think you're doing something just extremely needed. You know, like the days you don't go live, I hardly ever hop on YouTube. I ain't gonna lie, because everything else to me is a waste of time. But other than that, I just want to let the people know, hey, with this love languages, if you understand your love language, take it the extra effort and communicate that to your partner, right? So that they understand and they, you know what I'm saying, understand how to reciprocate to you in your love language. And you figure out a way that, like me and my wife and the hugs, that you do it and both people enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? To make those love languages, you know, be bilingual or trilingual or whatever it is, but understand how your partner receives love. You know, that to me, the primary focus of that was how I show love to my partner, not about how my partner shows love to me. Because I
Yeah,
can't control that. I can control how I show love to them. So that's all I got to say, brother. Hey, you have a fabulous night, man.
man. Have a great weekend, dog. It's always a blessing. I appreciate you, man. Okay, you guys know how I do. I give my little spiel at the end, man. I'm very happy that Riding Dirty suggested this that we talk about the love languages. I think that let me throw them back on the screen just in case you guys you didn't get them for some reason or whatever. I think it's very important for us to realize what our love languages are. I think it's very important for not only for us to realize it, but to make sure that we tell the people that we love this is my love language, or these are my love languages. So it's very important. I just wanted to bring this information to you guys. I'm hoping that we were able to cover the male and female perspective. I did have some other videos or whatever case to be because I want to kind of diversify it a little bit. I don't want anybody just coming to Tough Love channel thinking, this is just for black people. This is not just for black people. This is for people. Okay? These conversations are for people. You know what I'm saying? People that want to hear, see, and be a part of betterment. We all are growing. We've all been through a lot of shit. We probably still going through some shit. But at the end of the day, man, if we work together and we try to support one another, I think that really that's the best thing we could do. I truly believe that your content is your character, and I'm hoping that the content that I'm putting out, somebody, it's not about praise. It's just about can you like it? Can you share it? Can you tag one of these other content creators and say, hey, Tough Love had a pretty decent conversation. Hey, check it out. Or do you think that you could do a follow up, a recap? I would love to see a reaction video on some positive things. You know what I'm saying? On a positive narrative. I would love for people to edit a video where it promotes positivity, but a lot of people just use their skill set to just kind of add to the mud. You know what I mean? You know, just add there to the mud. But I'll leave you guys with this. Learn yourself. Take some time to learn yourself. Because when you know yourself, it is easy then to identify who you are in a conversation of chaos. It's easy to identify yourself. But if you don't know yourself, then how people view you, see you, and speak on you, you'll lose yourself. It takes patience. It takes consistency to learn yourself. So take the time to learn yourself. It's not going to be with any vice. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be with you. It's going to be time with yourself. Take some time to yourself. Spend some quality time getting to know you, what you like, what you admire, what you enjoy. What do you want to speak about? And I think that's the beauty of YouTube, is that it allows people to take the time and speak on the things that are most important to them. But what I'm finding is a lot of people who speak about the things that are most important to them has no substance. And I think I'm a reminder of the lack of substance. And I think that's why I shape people's, I rub them the wrong way and I rattle their cages or whatever. But I'm willing to dance a little bit, until I get tired of dancing and I say, okay, now let me play this beat for you. I know it's something that you're not accustomed to. I know it's something that that you're not used to. I get it. But if you listen to it, man, it's an amazing beat. It's a powerful beat. If art imitates life, then we need to be more self-sufficient, more self-worth, more self-initiative. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for being here. I'm about to rock out. You guys have a phenomenal weekend. And make sure that you get out and do something this weekend. Peace out.